Alright guys, I was going to do a quick vid on my Ruger 1022. I know a lot of people already have vids out there of them. And a lot of stuff gets covered in all those vids, a lot of modifications you can do to them and everything. But when I originally bought mine, I did not have a lot of money to be spending to do a lot of modifications. So I only did a few essential ones and did what I could on my own, including modifying the original stock and all that. So stay tuned. Okay, so when you were looking at it, probably the most obvious thing that you could tell right away that was modified was the stock. So what I did to the stock is this was originally a sporter with the barrel band up on the front that went around the barrel and everything like that. And whenever I got it, I was reading up on, Rimfire Central and all that, and got into the idea of trying to accurize this thing as much as I possibly could, as much as you can with a pretty much stock 1022. So I removed the barrel band and actually cut it back at an angle. I did an angle just to give me as much length in the stock, because this was essentially right where the barrel band started, where it tapered down. So I just cut back at an angle to try and make it look cool and all that other stuff. And then I, of course, painted the stock, taped it off, and just did like a quick camo job on it. And also, part of the accurizing was to float the barrel. So I took some sandpaper, wrapped around a dowel rod, and just ran it in the channel, test fit it, ran it in the channel until I could had no touching all the way back to the all the way back to the lug, the barrel lug, and where the action meets the stock. So then later, after I did all this and put it together and took it to the range and shot it some, realized that there was a lot of play with the action inside the stock area here too. Excuse me. So to remedy this on the cheap, I went to Walmart, went to the automotive department, and I picked up some of their putty that well, I don't know what it's called. It's like the JB Weld putty or whatever. It's an epoxy putty. You mix it up, it hardens up like steel. And I mix them up in areas where I thought it would do the most good. Up here on the side. Don't know if you can see that. There's some running here. Some right up here next to where the lug comes in. And then over here. Mixed it up, put it in there, let it set up real nice and hard, and then took a file, started shaping it a little bit. Then I would try and fit the action in, going real tight, so then I pull it back out, see where it was contacting. Kept doing it back and forth until I got it to where it's really nice and snug in there, almost to where it's a pain in the ass to take the thing apart. But it's nice and solid whenever you get the thing together. Barrel still floated in the channel, doesn't make contact. So I had that squared away. Okay, so now here's the action. Trigger group, of course, down here, and then action up top. One of the first things I did is bought a synthetic bolt buffer. These things are great. Really knock down the noise, all the clanking you get whenever the bolt cycles and everything. Real simple to put in. You just press out the old metal one and then push in the new synthetic one. I forget who makes this one. I think I got it off eBay or something. It's held up thousands and thousands of rounds, so not too worried about that. Then this is not the original barrel that came on the gun. The one that came on the gun, around the crown, had been destroyed a little bit because of the previous owner, over cleaning it, using a steel rod, running it up and down. He actually shallowed out the rifling at the end of the barrel, and so accuracy was subpar at best. I mean, I could get like quarter-inch groups, or not quarter-inch, I'm sorry, quarter-sized groups at like 25 yards. It didn't matter what ammo I used or anything. So, not wanting to spend a ton of money on a new barrel, I got on the forums and asked around, and luckily, with all the people out there modifying 1022s, there was a guy who had a barrel. He just pulled off his, didn't need it for anything, so he said he'd give it to me for the price of shipping. So of course I jumped at that deal and essentially got a new 1022 barrel put on there in place of the old worn out one. Now that's all that's pretty much been done with the upper. It's got a 4-power Bushnell. It's a fixed 4-power that I like to have on there just for planking and small game hunting and stuff like that. I prefer a scope for hunting. Now to the trigger assembly. I haven't done too much trigger wise to it. I haven't really polished anything. A lot of people complain about the gritty trigger and everything like that. I'm not looking for, you know, match grade accuracy out of it. I'm realistic about it, especially using the stock barrel and everything. Excuse me. So I wasn't worried about the trigger assembly that much. All I did is to make it more user-friendly is add an extended magazine release. I hate getting in there trying to dig them out with the factory ones they used to have, where you had to, you know, really get up in there. So this one, you just press forward and it just drops free. It's great, especially when you're wearing gloves out in the field if you're hunting with it or something. And then of course an oversized left-handed safety. So that would be flush on this side, safety protruding on the left side. That's safe. And then of course trigger finger just comes up, and then you see the red ring. That would be fire. And then this is why I had to modify the stock. As you see, it's pretty big. So you still have to center it whenever you're trying to push it through, but you still have to sand out the stock on both sides in order to get it to actually fit. So that's pretty much all I did there. To put the extended mag release in, it's real simple. All you do is you push back on the mag catch here and drop this pin, pull it out. Pull out the old one, slide in the new one while you're still holding it, put the pin back in, everything's good to go. It just stays lined up. The safety, you have to center it somewhat, find the sweet spot, and then you just rotate it. Rotate it forward. You see how I just rotated there? And then you can slide it out. I recommend doing this in a Ziploc baggie, because if not, there's a spring in there that'll just go flying along with a little detent. And then you just slide in the new one, push it down using something like a needle or something to push down the detent so you can slide this past, get it in there, and then you just rotate it back and it pops back into place, and then you're good to go. You got yourself another safety. They also make oversized right-handed ones too, so if you wear gloves or something like that, or where your hunt's is cold, you know, it's real easy to find that big old button and just push that over. So that's what I've done to the action. Alright, so stay tuned, let me get it back together. Okay, while I'm putting it back together, I just wanted to show you real quick. There's the dollar bill sliding in the channel, completely free floated, and doesn't even have the stock screw in there yet. The action's in there, and I can turn this upside down and shake it, and it's not coming out of there. That's how tight the action is actually bedded into the stock. So, alright, so I got it back together. Let me go ahead and show you how that magazine just falls out. See if I can get it in the frame. Just press it, comes right out. I don't know if you can see that or not. It makes it real easy, especially in the field, to swap the mags whenever you're wearing gloves and everything. Like I said, I use this rifle for hunting and stuff like that. Small game and plinking is pretty much its primary purpose. And I think pretty much everybody should have a 10/22 in their arsenal. I mean, it's a great little gun, great to teach people on, fun to play with. I mean, cheap as hell to shoot, and I mean, you can do a lot with them, really make it your own, which is what I like about it. And like I said, you don't have to spend a lot of money to do it. I mean, this one obviously doesn't look like anybody else's. Really, you know, it's got its own little character to it and stuff, and it's, you know, it's mine. Nobody else has one just quite like it. So, let me know what you guys think. Post up your cheap mods and stuff like that. I love seeing, you know, doing things on the cheap and everything, making it the best you can with as little money spent as possible. I don't think I had probably more than 150 bucks tied up in this entire gun. I bought it for $100 used. It was the first gun I bought from a friend of a friend. Like I said, he didn't take care of it, so I had to get that barrel. That was maybe $6, and then a few parts here and there. Really not that expensive. Came with the scope too, so I didn't even have to buy that. So yeah, maybe 150 bucks. I had to buy the paint for the stock and everything, but just a little bit of time and a little bit of elbow grease, and you can really make it your own. Anything else? I don't think so. Oh, as with any .22 rifle, you kind of have to shoot it with several different types of ammunition to try and figure out what works best for it. This gun actually shoots the best with the Remington Subsonics, surprisingly enough, but I don't really like the Subsonics that much because I think they shoot dirty. I'm not a big fan of Remington, plus they're kind of overpriced for what they are in my opinion. So a good all-around round that still performs and does what I need hunting-wise is Winchester Expert 22s. They have a nice hollow point to them, which is great for small game, and they shoot accurately enough out of the gun and cycle well. Rarely get failure fires and everything, and so that's what I go with this one. So that's my Ruger 10/22. Let me know what you guys think.